and this is probably the best race of the year for me.
Call it the most enjoyable hard-enduro. It's like everybody's in holiday mode, but we've got 3 days of racing.
It's very hard to race from the bottom, from the sea, up to the mountain.
You know, you want to just go and relax, but you just have to remember you're here to do a job and try and win.
Hello and welcome everyone to Red Bull Sea to Sky, the most enjoyable hard enduro in the world. We're in Kemer, Turkey, a beautiful and exotic seaside resort on the Turkish Riviera. For the next 3 days, the world's elite hard enduro riders will blast through beaches, dart through forests, and soar into the sky in this one-of-a-kind extreme event. We're all ready to go with the first stage, the beach race. The weather is perfect, the crowds are filing in. Let's get this party started. The flag drops. Johnny Walker reaches his bike first and sets off for the hole shot. But he misjudges his exit and goes down in a patchy boulder section. South African Wade Young takes advantage and passes him for the lead. Walker's now in fourth with third place Graham Jarvis in his sights. But Graham isn't going to give up his position without a fight. As Walker pinches Jarvis into a corner, it's Grimbo who comes out unscathed as Johnny goes down again. Riding in the sand is difficult enough. Now throw in some man-made obstacles and you've got yourself a hard enduro Turkish style. To get an idea of how the race works, let's hear from the riders about how you tackle this course.
The beach race is 15 minutes plus 1 lap.
The flag drops, sprint as fast as you can up the pebbly beach, throw your leg on the bike, hit the electric start, bush, off you go.
The start's the main thing, because if you're halfway through the pack, you know, there's so much dust and that, and to try and get round the riders is difficult.
The dust can be very, also dangerous. And this year we have one car and some trailers and I think some logs and also tires, like a little bit enduro cross style.
The gap jump we're running it the opposite way, and I think it's more of a step up.
We jump over, I don't know how much, 40-50 meters. Long for me.
Straight away, it's fun, you know. It feels like surfing on the bike. You stay behind, and yeah, it feels good, flat out, and really nice.
I'm looking most forward to the beach race. That's kind of my specialty. Just aside from it being fast, I'm kind of a sand specialist as it is. I'm pretty good when it gets real sandy.
Back to the race, and current leader Wade Young is flat out on the straight. He takes a quick look back to see American rider Taylor Robert right on his heels. Johnny Walker is making up ground as he flies past third place Alfredo Gomez. Wade Young gets hung up on a tire, and that's all it takes for the number 134 rider Taylor Robert to grab the lead. With slower traffic ahead, Robert takes an outside line. Walker takes advantage and goes for the inside pass, but can't get around the KTM factory rider. Walker and Robert battle back and forth for position. But with a burst of speed, Johnny takes the race lead. With 1 lap to go, the riders push through the exhaustion to the finish. Walker hits some deep sand and goes down again. Taylor Robert takes advantage of the Brits' mistake and retakes the lead with less than a lap to go. And for his first time racing in Turkey, the American Taylor Robert proves he is ready to race. He wins this year's beach race and will start first on day 2.
Well, I got pulled hard on the start. I realized I didn't have the right gearing. And then quickly enough, I got into second and then got around, well, Johnny went down and then I got around Wade and then I just kind of rode my own race. And then Johnny caught back up to me. And we actually had a pretty awesome battle. We passed each other probably 4 or 5 times. And then I was just able to take it to the finish line.
Johnny Walker takes second place while South African Wade Young holds off Alfredo Gomez to snag a podium position in third. It's hard to imagine that a popular holiday destination like Kemer, Turkey would be an ideal location to host an event like Red Bull Sea to Sky. But when you have amazing weather conditions and terrain like beaches and mountains only a few miles apart, it was only a matter of time until Kemer would be transformed into an off-road paradise. Now in its 5th year, Red Bull Sea to Sky was formed by the Haard-Andoro Club with one goal in mind: to create the world's most enjoyable hard-enduro event.
This is probably the best race for me because I have so much fun, you know. You come with your friends and that, and you get to hang out by the pool and, you know, down on the beach, and then you get serious and you do the 3 races, and then you have a bit more fun at the end of the day.
You know, you can just go out, do your riding, come back and relax by the beach, go for a swim and just chill out. So it's just a nice place to be.
Yeah, I think it's the most enjoyable hard enduro event in the world. Look around, you can have some days holiday and also riding behind up to the mountains, so it's a beautiful area for enduro riding.
And because Sea to Sky has so much to offer the competitors, it's quickly becoming one of the most popular races of the year, attracting riders from all over the world.
I've never done it before, but it's supposed to be one of the most fun hard enduros, so I'm pretty excited. We do a 3-day race, a beach race, a woods race, and then an extreme race to the top of the mountain. I think it's like 7,000 or 8,000 feet high, so I'm actually kind of excited to go out here and try it.
Yes, it's my first time here in Turkey. So far it looks pretty cool. The terrain is awesome, awesome scenery and that, and hot weather, which is pretty cool. Yeah, looking forward to the race.
2013 winner Johnny Walker is going into the race as this year's favorite. Hot off 2 consecutive wins, Johnny desperately wants to keep his winning streak alive.
Last year was definitely a good year for me. I won all 3 races, so I'm the first person to do that, and you know, it just gave me the confidence going from there into my training. You know, I knew what I had to do, and you know, I've trailed Graham for like 2 or 3 years now, and to get one over him on him here was such a good feeling for me.
But the 2-time winner Graham Jarvis is back again, still thinking about how he lost the race last year to Johnny on the final hill climb, a race that he lost by only 10 seconds.
So last year's race, yeah, it was a really close race. Johnny got a few minutes on that first riverbed, which was really fast going. He got a really good start, and then I caught him up, but I just couldn't make the pass on him, so it was good to have a good fight with him right to the end. Just unfortunately I came up second best, and but I'm looking forward to a good race this year as well. I think it's going to be close.
Day 2 of Red Bull Sea to Sky is the Forest Race. It's 75 kilometers of zigzagging through the dense Turkish timber. This stage will determine the starting grid for Day 3, the main event. Overnight, rain has saturated the forest and made for some slippery conditions. But if anyone knows how to ride when it's wet, it's got to be the Brits. And with a field that includes Bolton, Walker, and Jarvis, today's race is anyone's to win.
Been a bit of rain overnight, so it shouldn't be too dusty. That was the problem last year, so hopefully that'll help me just pull up a few places and get somewhere near the front.
You know, I don't really know what to expect. It's a new track and that, and I finished second yesterday behind Taylor. We had a good battle, but you know, he took the win, so I'll be pushing hard today to try and catch him.
Today, the Red Bull KTM rider Taylor Robert is the man all others will be chasing in an attempt to reach the podium.
We're up here pretty much halfway up the mountain, or maybe a quarter of the way up the mountain, to start the forest race for Day 2 of Sea to Sky. It's going to be all new for me, but supposedly it's a new course from what they've had in previous years.
Taylor Robert leads the pack with a minute lead. He has fresh tracks to start Day 2 as the forest race begins. Second off the line is Johnny Walker. He will use his past experience from this race to pull in the leader. One by one, the riders leave as they race against the clock in this time trial stage of the 3-day race. Wade Young continues to push as he chases down Robert for the best time of the day. Graham Jarvis is in his element. Rocky, uneven, miserable terrain is right where the silent assassin feels at home. Everyone's favorite privateer Paul Bolton takes to the forest section with ease. So far the day is fast, with the first riders reaching this dry riverbed and slicing through their lines like a hot knife through butter. The Hard-Enduro world is a family of athletes, but there's only one family where the father and son race together, the Lettenbichlers.
I bought him the first bike, he was 4 or 5 years old. The last 3 years he was always champion in 3 different classes.
Yeah, I'm 16 now and I go to school now 2 years and then I'm 18 and then I like a pro as my dad.
I gave him some passion. It's growing, and now he's sitting on my side. Years ago I said, Manuel, please clean the air filter, change the tire, change the wheels, learn it. Clean a little bit the exhaust, then you're ready. When you be out in the mountains and you have a problem on the bike, you have to fix it by your own, so that's very important.
I like more extreme enduros because the technical sections are better and I came from the trial riding and I think that's for me better and it's more fun for me. I learned from my father the speed, the technique, the stones or in the mountains or in the hills, what gear, how many gas. That's all technique is from him for me.
He can grow in this sport and what we are looking forward for the future and yeah, can be a good rider. We are really good friends also, you know. We go riding together and go skiing and everything and I love him, you know.
Day 2 continues with the forest race and the riders are nearing the end of this flowy 75-kilometer downhill stage. The finishing times of the forest race positions the riders for tomorrow's main event, and getting a top 10 finish today means a front row spot for tomorrow. The key to riding a race like this is to eliminate mistakes. Here, Graham Jarvis shows us what it takes to make it look so easy. With error-free riding, Graham has caught up to fellow countryman Paul Bolton, pulling 4 minutes on him from the start. Johnny Walker has overtaken Taylor Robert as they ride through the gully together. Graham Jarvis is putting together a flawless day of riding, hitting the last part of the forest race and is making great times, showing why he is widely considered one of the best hard-enduro riders in the world. As they reach the final checkpoint, Graham has Letty in his sights and will use the distance as a goal to hunt down a fresh target and improve his time. As the riders charge through the forest towards the sea, the finish line awaits. Johnny Walker arrives first, followed closely by race rookie Taylor Robert. Less than 200 meters from the finish, Graham has a fall. Could this one mistake cost him the first place position? But the top time of the day goes to Jarvis, proving he's still a threat. He hopes to take his day 2 momentum into the race's main event.
Yeah, I enjoyed the forest race. I overtook a few people and didn't get overtook, so I can't say ask for any more than that. I think I've pulled up a few places, so it's good.
Johnny Walker rides a clean race, coming in second for the day, and the Bavarian machine Andreas Lettenbichler uses his experience here, rounding out the top 3.
Yeah, I came in first this morning, but I'm not sure on the times or anything like that because everyone else was pushing hard, and I was riding all right, and then I made a stupid little mistake, maybe lost 20-30 seconds, and then I rode a bit better after that and got into rhythm again past Taylor, and then, you know, just brought it home.
Paul Bolton comes in 8th, but with a bad crash and a dislocated toe, he's doubtful for the main event tomorrow.
Dropped between some rocks, and then next minute my foot just went between a rock and the foot peg and went fully bent round. Every rider's done it, but I thought I broke something, but there's no bruising on it yet, so I've just got a bag of ice on it now.
As day 2 of Red Bull Sea to Sky comes to an end, we have locked and loaded the front row with the world's best riders. With such a close race last year, a perfect race might be needed to take the win. Rounding out the top 5 are Wade Young and Taylor Robert. It's time to see who has what it takes to be crowned this year's champion. Get ready for a 2,300-meter climb to the summit of Mount Tatali. With a Robert and Jarvis win on day 1 and 2 respectively, today's mountain race is completely up in the air.
We're at the start of the mountain race, day 3 of Sea to Sky. Starting right here on the beach. We're going to cruise up the beach for a few hundred yards and then head off up the canyon and towards the mountain.
Yeah, definitely nervous. It's quite an intense start, like 10 on a row, flat out to the first corner.
And then you start going up the riverbed and up the mountain. So it's dead important to get a good start, you know, that's the main thing, and then you're not in the dust.
Me and Manuel, we are in the first row, and yeah, that's really nice. I'm very proud about Manuel, and yeah, he did really well yesterday, and good result for him. Hope we see us together at the mountain.
Moments before the flag drops, Alfredo Gomez, who finished 3rd last year, has a blown spark plug and his bike won't fire up. He must give up his front row start while the team try to start his bike. As expected, Wade Young and Johnny Walker get off to a great start and battle their way to the dry riverbed. The remaining competitors are released in rows of 10 every 2 minutes. While a podium may not be realistic for most, they all have one thing on their mind. It's to get to the top of the mountain and to reach the finish. This 10-kilometer section of rocks and ruts is the warm-up before they begin ascending up the mountain. Finally, Alfredo Gomez's team has fixed his bike. This mechanical problem cost him 8 minutes, and it gives the Spaniard a huge disadvantage as he tries to return to the podium. As in all hard enduros, you never know what to expect. Now is when the world's most enjoyable race becomes a fight to survive as the riders begin the extreme climb up the mountain. The first test is a slippery, rocky riverbed. Johnny Walker still maintains the lead as he weaves his way through this challenging section. But the USA's Taylor Roberts is not far behind. Could this be the year an American takes the podium? By now, the silent assassin is sneaking his way into the mix. After passing Wade Young, Graham Jarvis is now in 3rd place, and with the demanding sections that lie ahead, the 2-time winner is positioning himself to make a move for the lead. After being passed, Wade Young drops back to 4th while Andreas Lettenbichler chases him down. Letty is determined to reach the podium. As the top 5 push themselves further and farther away, the rest of the field are struggling. Heat and the change in elevation play havoc on their bodies and their bikes. Welcome to Hard-Enduro. They don't call this the most enjoyable race for nothing. We've seen these guys on the track. Now let's take a look at what they get up to after the race day.
Yeah, it's really nice here in Turkey. So we got here, got the crew. Yeah! This is the start for the mountain race. Alright, we're about to demonstrate the old Rabaconda here. See if I can change the tire in less than 3 minutes. Here we are at the concert the night before the race. Handsome woman on the back of the bike.
Yes, go on.
We're just walking the beach race. For me, this is the hardest part of the track. Just chilling out.
Panic's tracking the bike.
We are here on the sea and we go to the sky.
You better get to sleep with that racket.
Buonanotte, Turkey.
Back to the race. The top riders have arrived at the ruins. Johnny Walker still maintains his lead, but the gap is shrinking. Taylor Robert is closing in on second until Graham Jarvis comes out of nowhere to pass him. Now he's got his sights set on Johnny Walker. Wade Young is still in fourth, but Andreas Lettenbichler is coming on strong. Up ahead, Walker begins to struggle. This cannot be a good feeling for Johnny, who has worked so hard to build a lead, only to see it slip away. And just like that, the new race leader is Graham Jarvis as he passes Johnny Walker. The leaders have finally broken through the forest, and it's a clear shot to the summit. Graham Jarvis's heartbreaking loss last year fuels his motivation to extend his lead. He's riding on a whole new level from the rest of the field. Taylor Robert is losing steam as both Wade Young and Andreas Lettenbichler have passed him by. The fight for the last spot on the podium is on. At 2,300 meters in elevation, Mount Tatali appears a daunting finish, but all mountains are meant to be conquered. And today, like he's done twice before, Graham Jarvis crosses the finish first at Red Bull Sea to Sky.
I was pushing as hard as I could, so I didn't want to make the same mistakes as last year. You know, the memories are still pretty raw from last year, losing at the last minute, so I just pushed as hard as I could.
Johnny Walker arrives a minute later for second place.
It isn't the result I wanted, but, you know, I can't take anything away. You know, I rode my hardest and, you know, it just wasn't good enough to beat Graham. You know, in the end, when he passed me, I just didn't have the strength to stay with him, you know.
With first and second decided, the last spot on the podium is down to Wade Young and Andreas Lettenbichler. Young chooses the wrong line up the rock face and gets stuck with the finish in sight, but he can also see Letty behind him, who's stalking him like a wounded animal. Nothing can stop the inevitable now as Letty gives it his all and charges up the rocks like a man possessed. After 3 years of missing out on the top three, Andreas Lettenbichler finally makes the podium at Sea to Sky.
You know, now I'm in the finish. Every year I miss the podium, but this year I'm third. I'm so happy. Yeah, it was a really nice race. I had really nice fights between Walt, Robert, Travis, and also at the last rock with Wade Young. I overtook him 30 meters before the finish and I finished third, and yeah, I'm really, really happy.
Moments later, Wade Young arrives at the finish line. His face tells the whole story. 60 riders in all made it to the top of Mount Tatali, including Alfredo Gomez, Paul Bolton, Taylor Robert, and Manuel Lettenbichler, whose father waits with open arms. The 2014 edition of Red Bull Sea to Sky has come to an end. Once again, its reputation as the world's most enjoyable hard enduro did not disappoint. Until next year, the mountains and the sea awaits. Congratulations to Graham Jarvis as he claims his third win here in Turkey and second of the 2014 season. And here is the unofficial world ranking of the world's best hard enduro riders. With Sea to Sky done and dusted, the final stop of the season in Portugal, the Extreme Lagares, is waiting. Till then, I'm Troy Mannering saying so long and keep the rubber side down.